When you crochet, you of course also need to hold your yarn. If you're right-handed, you'll hold the yarn in your left hand, and if you're left-handed, you'll hold the yarn in your right hand. Kind of depends on which hand is your working hand. I'm going to show you the way that I hold my yarn. This way. No, that went fast, I know. I'll show you again. What I do is I actually have the yarn wrapped around my pinky. And this wrap around my pinky acts kind of like a control mechanism. It helps me to let the yarn flow smoothly through my hands. So I scoop the yarn with my pinky. So I have the inside of my hand facing, and then you see it goes around my pinky, and then I fold my hand flat. And then I can pick up the yarn just before my working position over my index finger. And then I turn my hand back, up, and then that turning it back up creates a bit of tension on my working yarn here. And then what happens is, as I work, to just do it again, as I work, I use my index finger up and down to just control the tension here. And as I work, I'll just pull the yarn like this. You'll see it just smoothly runs around my pinky. And then because it's like a double loop there, it prevents it from going too fast. So you see, I really need to pull my yarn. It won't go very fast through my hands. And that's ideal for working. I find that this double loop here really helps me to control the tension and keep the tension on my yarn consistent. So again, I scoop it with my pinky. Then I'll have my hand flat and over my index finger, and then bring my hand back up. Again, scoop with my pinky, bring my hand flat, over my index finger, and open my hand up again. And now I'm ready to work. And then when I work, I just kind of want to hold this in front of my fabric, because usually this will be to the back of my fabric, but I'm just going to try and hold it to the front here. And then as I work my stitches, you can see the hook pulls the yarn through, the hook pulls my yarn forward, and then the rest just naturally kind of flows through my hand here. So you see I pull the yarn, you see it just runs through my hand here, and that's exactly what you want. And then with my index finger, as I move it up and down, I can allow for the tension in my yarn to just be constant. See? Now don't worry too much about these stitches and about how they're made. Focus on the way you hold your yarn. And certain people, I'm just going to pull this out a bit because it will give me a bit more room. Certain people just, for example, hold their yarn like this. They just have it like that, just over their index finger, and that's it. This way, it's harder to control your tension, because people will kind of do this in a way to hold their yarn, and this can give you stress in your hands, because you're going to continuously be pinching this yarn together just to keep it steady, that it doesn't flow too much. So that can give you stress in your hands. Some people like to have it wrapped around their index finger, for example, like this way. It's also fine. Some people like to have it around their their ring finger, also fine. What's important is that you have a way that it runs smoothly through your hands. That's what you want. And for me, this is the ideal way. That I get no cramps in my hands at all when I work like this, and I can do this for hours at a time. And that's what you want. You don't want any method that if you find that you're holding your fingers tight against each other, that's going to go wrong after a certain amount of time. You're going to get cramps in your hands. So make sure that whichever way you have, that your fingers are relaxed and you can just have the yarn run smooth. That's what you're aiming for. So one last time how I hold my yarn, around my pinky and over my index finger, and I'm set to go.